Today's cylinder object will consist of a teacup with curved mirror walls filled with tea and a cylinder saucer underneath it. So if you would get your sketchbook out and turn to page 18, it will be our second part of page 18. To get set up, if you would take your straight edge, and we are going to do just some basic setup guidelines. And I'm just going to lay this on this edge to get a nice vertical line. And with your vertical line, we will need a top line, or top line, should I say, a horizontal line. And I would just drop down a little bit in that vertical line. And now a bottom. And again, I would leave part of the bottom. This one won't need to be as long. I've drawn mine quite long. So it's an eye with a little extension on the top and the bottom. So to do our teacup, what I'd like to do is first determine your bottom of your, well actually no, first determine the edges of your teacup. So I'm going to take my straight edge, which is super marked up. I'm going to actually have to erase a little bit on my straight edge. I'm going to measure here, mark it, slide it over, and measure here for my curve. I'm going to determine the opening of my cylinder. So I'm going to mark it here. I'll lay this here. That's my smile line. Now my frown line, I'm going to mark here. And I'm going to lightly sketch. My frown, mine is sketched pretty dark. Around that, come down to my smile. This is what you don't want. You see how I accidentally went lower? That does not look accurate. Luckily, I was just sketching. So I can get that out of there. I can also, while I'm at it, get that out of there. Clean that up. Turn my sketchbook lightly. Come up to this curve here. It looks a little bit. Down here, since my object is not going to be see-through, I'm going to take my measurement. Let's see, I got to find that. I'm not sure. I'll just make a new one, but I want to take my smile here measurement. Come down here, put my smile in. So just put my little measurement there. Because this is going to be rounded walls, I'm going to pick a spot. So I'm going to pick here. I'm going to pick a spot here. And I also want to mark it over here. I'm going to mark it here. Now, I am going to put a rounded wall. This is the easy line to get. That's the easy line. The little bit more difficult line, and people will try to do that, they'll try to put it in and it will look wonky or it might look close. But I want to teach you a different way you can do that that is very, very easy. And that is what I call the dot-to-dot method. You've been doing lots of marking on your straight edge, so I'm going to lay this here and I'm going to mark my wall. All I'm going to do is slide it over to hit the mark, and I'm going to put a dot. Let's go right here. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to mark my wall. I'm going to slide here. I'm going to put a dot. I'm going to put a dot here. I'm going to lay it right here. I'm going to mark my wall. I'm going to slide when I get to my wall. I'm going to put my dot. I've already done it here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect the dots. Oops. I curved in there, which I did not mean to. But I am going to now connect the dots. So that is a great method to use when you have a curve. This one we just put in. Now the job was to match it with that. And I did the dot-to-dot method. To me, that seemed the easiest. Now to put the bottom of my teacup, again, I need to simply round, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to veer off here. I'm going to erase that because we are so much smaller here than we were here. That changes. This is a gentle smile, which you know how to do that already. I'm going to put a gentle smile in there. I'm going to double the walls of my teacup. Take my guidelines out. Take my dots out, my guidelines out, but leave this one here. So to double my walls, I'm going to double my smile. Double my smile. I'm going to come inside here and I round slightly and I double my frown and round. Fill it with tea. It's this easy. Take my frown, round it. I'm getting a little crazy here. My 6B is really dark, soft lead. It's working well for me. I just filled my teacup with tea. Probably don't even have to round that out. Can just go straight down. You decide what looks best. Yeah, it looks better here. just to go straight down. It's hot tea, so I'm going to render, just have some fun with it. Again, I like to render because it leaves some soft lead. I can go in with my blender stick. Indicate hot tea. And notice that my hot tea also covers the back wall here, which I had already covered that. While we're at it, let's go ahead and put in some shading. Oh, I forgot something. Down here, I should have doubled my smile here to give depth to my teacup, which is not too late to do. Because that's a large area, and because it's a rounded object, using a paper towel to add the shading. And you might notice, as I notice, and I don't like it's picking up something there, but I'm going to actually make a shine in the front of my teacup. So I'm going to come using my eraser, add the shine. You can do this also with a mechanical drawing eraser. Take a piece of clean paper towel. Sometimes I reuse the dirty side, which causes more smudging than I want. So I've got the shading in my teacup. I went outside my teacup a little bit. I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to add a handle to my teacup. Again, notice here that I go with my curves. I go with my smiles. I'm going to put a nice handle on it. I'm going to double my handle. Right here, I know this is just a picky little thing I might want to erase and actually shade because my handle covers that wall of my teacup. So I've got the teacup completed, but now I need to put the little saucer. So to put the little saucer, I'm going to parallel the smile. Parallel the smile. And now I notice my difference. That does not look good. I want to get that as accurate as I can. Good thing I sketched. So my smile, my lead is really thick and dark. Now, the distance between here and that kind of invisible line is the distance I want to find, because it's like, where do I put this? That doesn't look accurate or good. So watch what I do. Try to find a clean place on your straight edge. I can see this line right here. I'm going to lay that here and find my smile. I'm going to lay it here. Here's my frown. So I'm not actually going to see through my cup. So I don't really want to draw here, but I just want to show you. That's what determines where this line goes. So it's right here. I don't want to draw this because my cup is not see-through in this situation. So I'm gonna erase that. I'm gonna erase these what not to do lines because they look ridiculous. So now I see my teacup. Get that line out of there and that line out of there. And this is the plate, so I'm going to add some shading. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of a thickness, not much, just a very, very parallel smile. Like that. I'm now going to add a shadow shade there. I'm going to blend it out. Erase that line. Some of my guidelines are on here really dark. Can't get rid of them once I drew so dark. And I have a teacup full of tea, hot, with a saucer and a rounded mirrored sides that match. And again, how we got that was the dot to dot method. We had our middle line, we measured, we slid and put a dot. We measured, we slid and put a dot. Then we connected our dots. What I do notice is we forgot the artist's signature. So there's many places you could do your artist's signature here. You could erase that. And you can write this or you can print this. Your choice, you're the artist. So that could be a place to put it. I could even do it here, where I just extend the counter line. Like that. I could sign it up my handle, but generally somewhere down here on the right, not at the bottom of the page. We also forgot to sign here. So we could do it here. We could do it here. We could do it up the side wall. You could do it in the straw, but generally somewhere down in the right, not distracting from your work.